I wrote a scene that became a kind of template. Again, because of my habit of being economical, it was probably only about 2 or 3 pages long. Then one Saturday, the Saturday before the scene shot, Marty and I and De Niro and Juliette went to the actual set. And they started to do the scene and interpolate their own dialogue. And as they did that, I started to write all the best stuff that they were saying. And we did it 3 or 4 or 5 times. It goes against the conventions of the genre to stop, in a sense, stop a movie like this for that sort of prolonged dialogue scene. And yet, it's probably the centerpiece of the movie and the most original scene in the film, and maybe the most interesting. And the most perverse, certainly, especially insofar as it climaxes with De Niro putting his thumb into Juliette's mouth, which was Bob's idea. That did not come out of our rehearsal. I think he knew he was going to do it, but didn't tell Juliette.
The thumb thing was a surprise. I didn't want to do it until we did it. I think I told Marty I'm going to try that or something. Or I said, I'm just going to try something, you know.
That day, that morning, he said, I have an idea, it's a little crazy. I said, well, what is it? He said, well, it's this. I said, well, yeah, let's try that. That's good. Let's see what happens. So I shot 2 cameras. And I think basically the scene is, the second half of the scene, the tighter shots, were basically all one take. It just happened. It was very like theater.
And I think that Marty is the very first take of Bob doing that. And you read the surprise on her face, and it's genuine.
Do you mind if I put my arm around you?
At that time, I know in the blocking that he's going to come close to me and maybe we'll kiss or something. But I didn't know about the thumb thing.
It's okay.
So when we shot it, he gains my confidence by talking about my parents, by validating me as a person and all this stuff. And then he goes, Danielle, can I put my arm around you? And that's when Juliette, I know that De Niro is going to come close to me. And at that time, like the week before, I had developed a little bit of a crush.
No, I don't mind.
Okay.
And I blushed like huge. And then he comes close like this and puts his arm around me. He used the first take. Scorsese used the first take of the thumb thing, and it's just us looking at each other, and he's instigating this thing. I push him away a little, and then he persists. And it's like, it's so intense. It was really incredible to shoot.
Whenever he can, he always shoots improvisation with 2 cameras, so that if one actor is going off, he always has the other actor responding at that moment to it. And I will never forget that in the auditorium scene, the assistant director called me up and said, wait till you see what we got today. The entire set just went dead quiet, because on the first take, De Niro just hit it, and Juliette hit it with him. She just went with him, and the 2 of them were just flawless. It was the most mesmerizing, perfect take I've ever seen in my life, and it was a long, long stretch. And we just knew that was going to be the basis of the performance, and it was. We used 1 take, 2 cameras. I think there was 1 line we took from another take, but they never hit it again.
So when Marty said cut, after that, I was so exhilarated because artistically, there was such this energy and an exchange that you almost feel, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. You sort of feel euphoric and electrified. So I go, wasn't that fun? to Bob and Marty, and they were just like, it was a little like, anyway, I was just like, it was really fun for me.